indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board Member Drake. Board Member Neisel. Hey. Board Member Steen. Board Member Van Blarkum.
Here.
Supervisor DeSclafani.
Here,
Do you want the legal notice?
please read the notice,
The
Joyce.
town board has also scheduled a public hearing to reopen the public hearing from last month on the water metering system for Pine Hill, to be held prior to our regular monthly meeting at 6:30 on Monday, March 3rd, Shandaken Town Hall, 7209 State Route 28. To hear all those for or against this project.
Thank you, Joyce.
Oh, here, Andrew, put them out, will you? No, I'm kidding.
Falls apart every March.
Should mix them up some night, see if anybody notices.
So, if you don't know, this is a public hearing on putting in a new water system for Pine Hill. We need meters and transponders and readers and
Yeah,
are you not hearing me?
yeah. Your meter doesn't go up too far over there.
Yeah, give us a summary, one of you guys.
So fill in any gaps. Sure. Going back, I want to say it was maybe about 6 or 7 months ago, Dynamic presented to this board on water meters. And that was in response to the loan that you and Kyle and Ethan had done. Because the water meters in Pine Hill are at the end of their lifespan. They're 25 plus years old. They are no longer remotely readable, so you have to, in some cases, dig them up to see what the meters are, and they're just fundamentally at the end of their useful mechanical lifespan. And so this company did a presentation on new meters. Subsequent to that meeting, we did some research on additional companies using sort of royal meter, but this was largely the code of Kyle Steen board. And so the challenge is that while there are a number of companies that do water meters, there are not a ton of companies that allow remotely readable water meters in an environment that has inconsistent or non-existent cell sources. And so ultimately, we were only able to identify the original company, Dynamic, as a single, in real time, remotely readable through radio frequency. And so they provided a quote, which is ultimately the number that is part of this. There was an informational meeting that was held 2 weeks ago in Pine Hill to explain some of these details. And the purpose of today's meeting is to sort of receive any final public feedback around what would become this project, which would specifically be the hiring of Dynamic at $150,351.52. The contingent upon successfully securing a loan from the World Water Loan Fund, which would fund 75% of the project at 3% 10-year loan. And ultimately, the hope is to go forward with that and install new water meters this year. I think that's as succinctly as possible, all the sort of details. Hopefully that informational meeting covered the majority of the questions of Pine Hill water residents, but I think if there are any other ones.
It did. There was a financial question that you had actually covered in the FAQ. I can bring that up. That was the 11th question on there. I don't know if everyone has seen that or not. And also, I talked to Dan today, actually right before the meeting, just to go over the annual cost of everything. Most of it is maintenance costs. So it's kind of like, if anything goes wrong, if there's not an extra cost associated with that, they just come out and fix it. So one of them is a $350 annual software license, which is just to use one of the programs. Android Stealth handheld software. So that's annual just to use that program. Something that is not in this quote, that I thought was, but is not, is the portal for residents, actually. That's $3,000, not annually, but a base fee. And then $1.50 per person per year, whoever uses it. So that's not in this quote that they gave us. In the financing that they gave us though, they quoted for $160,000. That was to cover anything that we may have missed on here or any add-ons. I don't know how we are going to work that, if we needed extra lids, if we needed extra commercial meters, bigger meters, anything, even those acoustic readers that can connect to the mains to detect leaks. They're about $500 a piece. So that extra $10,000 cushion, let's say, which I thought was in here, but I talked to Dan today and it is not in there, is to cover all of the stuff that we may need and we may not need. You know, it depends on what we need. Also, some of the annual fees, such as these stealth repeaters. So they're quoted at 10 of these stealth repeaters. They may not need them. So they overshot that a little bit just to make sure that we have what we need. But if they don't use them, then they're not going to charge us. I made sure that we went over that today on the phone, and I had not only the salesman, but an actual rep from Zen, which is the company of the manufacturer of the meters themselves. And just go over everything. So, I believe the annual amount is $3,813. So, $350 annually is for that software license. Now, there's two stealth collectors, cellular ready, which are $350 per year per collector. There's two of those, so that's $700. There are two stealth enhanced repeater AC power, which are $150 for maintenance. And then there are stealth repeaters, which is $1.10 each per year. And they said they had 10 there, but it's probably more than 10. They just wanted to overshoot that. And then the annual cellular fee, which is $25 per month per collector. That is for data sent. So that's a data, like you would have on your, like a data plan on your cell phone. So that comes out to, so Stealth Command software cloud, that is $1,500 per year. That is data storage. So that's going to allow and maintenance and updates online. So that is going to allow us to store readings indefinitely. They will be right in front of our face for 2 years, and then they are archived after the 2 years, and then we can pull up. We can just ask them, and they can give it to us, no matter what. Like a whole year, we can get the last 10 years, however much data we need to know. But that is for ultimate storage, no matter how much storage we're on. That's it. And the software cloud per meter is $1.10 per meter per year. They are overshooting it by quite a bit. It's going to be about $200. They have it listed as $352. And I believe that's it for the annual fees. I just wanted to clear that up.
Do you have that total one more time for annual fees?
The total is $3,813.
Thank you.
And they suspect it to be less than that.
Okay.
A maximum of.
All right, okay, thank you.
Carl, you mentioned a number of cellular objects. I thought that we were not able to use cellular in this system.
We are, only where the cell service is good enough to send that out. So it's a mesh system, so let's say on the top of Bonneview, let's say, it goes from each meter to each meter until it hits the middle of town where the cell service is good enough to send it out, and then it sends it out. So the reason why we can't use the ones that are solely cellular is because there are parts of the town that don't have cell service.
So it's gonna send it along a signal to where you get cell service and then send it out.
To a collector,
Yeah.
and then the cell service, and then it sends it out.
And this time, the one that's actually cost us is what we use, the electric system. If you said that last time.
So it was
Not the annual fees, but like, what's the breakdown over 10 years, what's like $860?
So, by my kind of estimating of breaking this out, so what it comes down to is that the median ratepayer would, over the next couple of years, need to have would need to pay in on average of just under $100. Now that would be over several years, and again, that's the median ratepayer. So of course, a hotel or a larger facility is obviously going to be on the higher end of that. Yeah, but it can be put in over the course of a couple of years.
About $100 a year.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
median ratepayer would pay
Right.
a couple $100 a year, would be expected to pay a couple $100 a year more within 1 to 2 years.
So we're gonna get billed by annual now, right?
So,
So it'll be $100.
well,
Yeah.
well, so because of how there are 3 separate charges that ultimately go into the payment of the water district's budget. So part of it is the property tax assessment, part of it is your rate usage, and part of it is that fixed fee. Somehow amongst the 3 of those, that number needs to go up about $100. So it doesn't necessarily have to be in the yearly, bi-yearly billing. And in fact, my expectation is that the decent amount of that will actually come from
The tax.
well, the metering, actually, because the older
Well,
meters.
that's, right, okay, then the bi-yearly metering.
Well, yeah, so rate usage, because the older meters underestimate usage. So a 25-year-old meter is not measuring your actual usage, it's underestimating it. And a more current meter is likely to show that you're in fact using more usage than you have been. And that's gonna be roughly proportional to your size. So say a hotel or something like that is very likely under by a decent amount. So we'll see what that accomplishes. That's no change to the fee structure whatsoever. That's just, you're actually using more water than you realize you have. And I think that'll probably encompass about a fourth.
And just for those annual fees, the first 2 years on the cellular collectors, we do not pay for because it's under warranty for 2 years. So we don't have to pay a maintenance fee or something like that.
A technical question about usage. We don't have a way, as everything's been described over the past several months, to monitor the output from the treatment area. Can the various meters provide a total summary of usage combined once in somebody in town hall look at that whole summer? So if you can look at that, why not simply put some in the measuring device up at the cistern? How much water is going in? Take that whole summer number, subtract it, and you've got uses remaining, rather than going through and putting the devices all along the
So there is a metering device that tells you how much water is going into the reservoir. There is that. It doesn't tell you how much. I don't know how to put this. It tells you how much water is going into the reservoir. So you can essentially take all of the readings from all of the residents, like you said, the bulk reading, and subtract that from that from that number, from the water house. And yes, theoretically, yeah, you can see if you have a leak there.
There should be an average amount, and if that average changes, we would know there's a leak.
I just don't.
Or
Well, no, I
estimate.
think Kyle's got it right. The
Yeah.
average wouldn't tell us anything. And your supposition on if the amount going into the reservoir is greatly off from the amount coming out of the sum of all the households, that means there's a leak. So why do we want the monitoring all the pipes? Does your math tell you where the leak is? That's why we want the metering along the mains. Yes.
These are not, so let me clarify. The devices that I'm talking about, they are not, we do not have to dig anything up. I talked to Dan about it today. They just go on the valves. They're pretty much, I'm assuming that they're pretty much the same, almost the same units that, let's say, Rich Winters uses to listen to these things acoustically, except these devices will send that information to our system. So you can read them from a computer screen instead of having to sit out in the field and actually, read them. Or say, oh, there's a noise there. It'll say, not only is there a noise there, but where it is.
Is this the last discussion we'll be having on the Pine Lake water system, or will there be a more detailed session for residents to ask additional questions not related to the metering?
I would be more than happy to have other informational sessions, if you'd like. At the Pine Hill Water, or at the Pine Hill Community Center.
The report that was posted on the town site last updated 21-25 raises questions. I think there should be, I know we just had a community meeting.
That's okay.
We need to upgrade our system, so we never had that system change. We don't know what we need.
So,
We need a system that just one day shows water usage and to be able to detect a leak, which had to detect the leak the first day they ran out of water, we would have been in a much better situation as a Pine Hill resident or this current old system. So we thought, obviously, they were drought, but the leak was losing back here. It's not correct.
mostly, yes, you are correct. Andrew, are you talking about, other than the metering system, you would like to have additional meetings on what to do next? And I absolutely read it, and like I said, my opinion is that we revitalize the Pine Hill Water Committee and get people involved in that so that they can tackle, a lot more than just,
That's the other thing I don't understand, is this a committee, a commission, or the commissioners, how is this set up? Because, it apparently hasn't met in possibly as long as a decade. You refer to two commissioners. In order to have a commission, you need more than two commissioners. Who is the chair of the commission? I think that those people will be better off identified as superintendent and assistant superintendent, who might be part of the commission.
okay.
We are the water board, and there was a water committee.
Is it a board? Is it a group?
It's a board.
We are the water board, but there was a committee, an ad hoc committee that always met and talked about problems and issues, and they would bring them to us, let us act on them. They have not met in a number of years, that's correct. We could form a new committee.
Well, how else are we going to know what's going on if you don't have people in the know?
I think to your point, I think if there's interested individuals recreating that committee, it would be very favorable. That that's,
Are you volunteering for the committee?
you could name me in 10 minutes.
Well, that may explain why we haven't got a committee this meeting, wouldn't it? No, well, and we do have some information, and we do have a superintendent, but we agree there should be a committee, but we could try forcing you to be on the committee. We have a water superintendent. There's no vagueness or uncertainty there. He knows his title, and so do we. He's a water superintendent, and he has a deputy or assistant. I think that terminology is flexible. But that's not the same as the committee that you were just asking about. And we would very much like to. We did just revitalize the Water District Committee in Phoenicia. Several people came forward to join that immediately. And they're learning what to do as they go. If you would like to, if not, we can put word out. I'm sure we can pull a committee together. There's a lot of people in Pine Hill who I'm sure would be happy to volunteer. There you go. I got 2 nods in the house already. Rob's in the back too.
I think there's already 2 people still on the committee, to tell you the truth.
Now, we have the list that the Phoenicia jobs were. Maybe forward it to the new volunteers.
No, there was no list of jobs for the Phoenicia Water Committee. It was
Just kind of what they do.
I asked 3 people and they all said yes,
Okay.
with no job description whatsoever.
Phoenicia's very.
There's one of them now. But we just got new people, so we can put this committee together.
Backtracking one step, there was a couple things you spot here. The 2 people, the superintendent and his assistant, are those salaries included as part of our water expenses?
Yes.
That's not indicated in there.
The budget, I believe it is.
It's in the budget.
Updated time of water district has with you, that those numbers are part of our annual water bill or our cost per gallon.
So this FAQ is solely related to the water metering project. It's not a full explanation of the Pine Hill water budget. It's an explanation of the capital cost of new water meters. The budget for the entire district is,
On the town website.
yeah, it's somewhat larger than just this.
And this hearing is for the metering project, correct?
Correct.
So we're gonna get one topic, right?
Yes. My fantasy is to have all of this information put together so that everybody has access to it.
It's a great job for a committee.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm still not sure if you're joining the committee, though. You just want other people to put it together for you. Just to be clear.
I did not say that.
I'm just asking.
If there's anyone in Pine Hill interested in being on the Pine Hill Water Committee, please call Kyle. Or myself.
We've already
Or
got,
Joyce.
Or me.
Well,
Three.
when we get to motions, why don't we motion to put out an announcement?
sure, that's great.
Okay, motion. Sure. What do you want? Motion to,
Revitalize your
To request for
Yeah.
request volunteers for Pine Hill Water Commission.
committee.
Okay. I got confused. They get paid? No.
No.
That's right.
Okay.
We have a few more minutes if anyone else is interested in making a comment about the water metering public hearing.
I'm making a motion from you. Yeah.
Make a motion to close the
What do you say?
I'm sorry.
They said.
Completion.
I want to say 2 months after it shovels in the ground?
How do you have to reauthorize the proposal or proposition in order to include that money?
No, it just depends on
No,
operating
that's
costs.
here at the public hearing. Second? You made the motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's take 5 minutes before the regular meeting.
My extension cord.
Need a wire?
Robert was on.
Oh, I did, yeah. And I was just like, oh, cool. It looks great. I mean, my understanding is that based off of the age that these things are done, that is less likely.
Yes, that is my understanding as well.
But it would be nice.
If they were gonna mention it before, I mean, maybe the person is speaking in hyperbole on the fees and fines and penalties,
Well, I mean, obviously,
or just being dramatic.
I think there is some of that because I mean, when I had called to find out what water operator license
Yeah.
was required, one that took like 3 or 4 steps. I finally got a hold of someone who was legitimately like sort of confused in like sort of a good way of being like, wait, someone wants to follow any kind of rules whatsoever around water or health, and they were baffled.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, I mean, I honestly, like, they wouldn't have said this, you know, in writing, but I kind of felt like they're like, literally any licensing whatsoever. Like, anybody who knows, even slightly cares.
We're just so glad you people know that water should be clean.
Like, I didn't get the sense that they were, like, coming down with an axe that, like I think, of all of the issues, the fact that there's, like, any forward momentum whatsoever, they're just, like, overjoyed. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, what do you even do? Being like, oh, we don't have enough money to fix this. Okay, well, we're going to fine you. Okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Now we really can't fix it. What's that? No, we don't. But I think we were just saying. I think there's a lot of over dramatization.
Yeah, and what I suspect is probably the case is, you know, an inventory. If you have known lead pipes, you put them in an inventory and then you put them in a capital plan for replacement. If you have no known lead pipes, you probably do.
Apparently we know this pine hill has no.
Right. So there's probably a thing you sign that sort of like we assert that we have no known lead pipes within the district, and then it's probably, oh, that's my guess. Without doing anything, that's my guess. Just like how government works. To be determined, right? Like we need to like suss this out, but.
I just wanted to make sure. I was like, what?
I mean, maybe it's more than that, but like, as we were just kind of like, we're making some, like, you know, as we. Well, I'm like, that's all. There's like one problem. Yes. Self-taps. Yeah.
So just let him know. Right away.
2 problems. We'll get to the second
Kyle,
one next time.
make up your list now. You got him, Rob, and Chad, right?
That's 3. And plus potentially,
Yeah. All right. Write them down.
maybe 5 would be cool. But we should still put out an announcement.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll put an ad. Well, hello. Hello.
Yeah, I did get your email, and I did go over where you showed up. I just want to let you know. Thank you, that was great.
Live up to the
No,
expectation.
that was wonderful, because I called right away, and he gave me a rundown that
Most of everything is how come I had that's my real bit of fun, right? Oh, Campbell, that's right. We'll be here for the
Hey, Joe. Good.
No, how are you? Good, good to see you.
There you go. You're welcome. Yeah, we don't get the prices, the fees, till Amy does it. And since we're so early in the month, we have to do our report.
I don't know what it's
And
necessary.
Amy gets the, the number, so I update it on the website. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I lose it for tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah. So that goes in ours, and the meeting minutes, there's another section, that'll go in our minutes. Send it as a document.
Or go in.
Right, just write it.
You would be.
No, document.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, or right, because I'm putting our paper.
Oh, no, I didn't want to do
I mean, I can
it.
do a PDF, but
I was just going to introduce it.
it's weird. Change the font, it's pretty.
But I did think those meeting resolution.
Just missed it.
Right, which is why I think doing a mid-March meeting. is gonna
Yeah,
be
and that's
the
perfect,
evening.
then I was just, yeah, we'll make a motion for a special meeting.
Fire inspection.
This is Al. I find the
For what?
pumping gas at the, what is it, Citgo in, yeah, right, you think it's inspection and visit? Just gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4 inspections.
I thought they were only doing this. No, you're right, inspection and visits.
But that's what we do, 4 of each.
Yeah. Oh,
This
yeah.
guy was pumping gas at the Shandaken Town Bd.
Please rise for the pledge.
We had made a motion on this.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board Member Drake. Board Member Nysel.
Here.
Board Member Steen. Board Member Van Blarkum.
Present.
Supervisor Discofani.
Here. Do I have a motion to accept last month's minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Financial report. Ambulance, $15,168.08. Cornell Cooperative, $487.50. SBA Tower, $2,458.95. Highway taxes, $1,519,480. MAHV, $1,600. Registrar, $82. Justice fees, $5,221. Building fees, $3,473. Dog licenses, $44.50. Zoning fees, $500. Planning fees, $150. Hack reimbursement, $969. STR receivables, $10,657.83. Police fees, $15. General tax warrant, $1,535,096.35. Highway reimbursement, $500.18. Interest on all accounts, $4,640.96 for a total of $3,100,544.35. We're gathering information about the possibility of the Phoenicia School takeover and costs associated with its operation, maintenance, and imminent future repairs. All this includes a commercial building inspection and an environmental assessment. This information is vital to make an informed decision on whether to encumber the town with this responsibility. Part of the decision centers around accepting the property for $1. If the whole district approves a referendum vote, and when that vote can practically take place. The best case scenario is during a district-wide budget vote in late May, but it doesn't seem likely because we need so much more information before that March 18th deadline to make that possible. We're working with the County Board of Elections to try and schedule it during the November election cycle, but that may be too complicated from the 2 of the 4 towns only partially being in the Onteora district. We could decline a school district offer and let the building go up for sale on the open market. If we purchase the property on the open market, it will not have to go to a district-wide referendum. The other part of this decision, if we take the dollar deal, and given it by the school, there's the referendum, and there's also a state-enforced restrictions on what we can do with that extra space. The school is about 30,000 square feet of space, and the current town hall is less than a third of that. Including the auditorium, the kitchen, and gymnasium for community activities would leave about 10,000 square feet unused. Any and all space could only be used for a public good space, or certain not-for-profits or other governmental entities would be able to rent the space. If we purchased a property on the open market, the town could then rent the extra space to entities we feel would benefit the town. This revenue could help defray the costs associated with the operation and maintenance. More meetings will take place when we have more information to report. Also tonight, we'll be presented with Mountain Jam, a music event at Bel Air Mountain in late June. There have been a few meetings with all the agencies involved, Ulster County EMS, Planning, Health Department, and our own police and ambulance chiefs. Like buying the elementary school, this is a complicated event, the likes we have not previously encountered, and we will take very seriously and methodically. We've had a couple of informational meetings and a public hearing on our new water metering system for Pine Hill, and will likely vote for the purchase and installation of the financing of this $160,000 project. Our engineers are waiting for spring thaw to do the exploratory work for the Pine Hill parking lot to design a stormwater system to help alleviate the drainage issues, and we still have no information yet on Ulster County's determination on the Phoenicia Bridge project. Okay, let's move to,
Joyce? Yes, I just have one simple thing. We're already planning for summer rec. Manny has been in our office, so we knew spring was coming. When we saw Manny, we were very excited. So the big thing with summer rec is on Thursday, July 31st, the kids are going to be going to a Yankee game at Yankee Stadium. And we got a good price, and it's all on our website under summer rec, under services, offices and services. So we do have the flyer there. It's going to be $45 for a chaperone and $30 per camper. And it includes a meal ticket, I think $15 meal thing, and then they get a backpack, a Yankee logo on it.
no way.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, and this guy got a hold of us because he actually is a family member of a business in town. So he knew about summer rec and all that, so he helped us along and talked to Manny. We had a meeting with him. So the thing is, the tickets have to be purchased by April 30th. There's a limited number. So we're going to accept payments online on our ShandakenPayments.com website, and it's going to be ready this week. And then we'll put a blast out. Manny's going to send out mailings to all the, everybody in town, the way she usually does it, and it'll all be on our summer rec page. So any updates when we could start taking payments, that would be the thing to do. So there's a limited number of 120 tickets. There should
Who are
be
they
enough.
playing?
Huh?
Do we know who they're playing? Yankees versus
Oh my God. The flyer's downstairs. Who was it?
Denver?
Tampa. Yeah.
Oh, Tampa.
What's the name of their team? It's a weird name. The Rays.
Tampa
yeah.
Rays.
I know the Green Bay Packers. That's not even baseball.
That's not even.
So that's it.
Even I know that's not baseball.
I know. So anyway, so that's really exciting. So spread the word, and we'll get that word out a lot on Facebook and through that mailing she always does every year. And of course, we have Zoom Flume after that one. Okay?
Thank you, Joyce.
All right.
Next, we'll have Gary Chekhov make a presentation for Mountain Jam.
You're going to talk to the
Want me
board.
to talk into
To the board, yeah.
Hello? Hello?
You need it higher?
Okay. Hello? Thank you for having us. I'm Gary Chekhov. I own Radio Woodstock, WDST. And I've been doing Mountain Jam for 15 years, actually. Actually, this is the 20th, but we haven't had it since the pandemic. So we did 14 years at Hunter Mountain and 1 year at Bethel Woods. And I did the Thin or Rate Lift concert in 2021 at Bel Air, and I fell in love with it. And I was wooed there to bring Mountain Jam to Bel Air, and I'm really happy. I live down the road, so it's nice to have it in my hometown. I am here tonight with Alan Dumas from Brinier and Larios. He is our engineer. My attorney is not here with me. I'm trying to do this on my own, keep legal fees down. But he's with Whiteman, Osterman, and Hanna. He's TJ Ruan, I think you know him. And Orta is partnering with us in Mountain Jam. And I have a festival organizer named John Dindis. He's from G4D Productions. I've worked with John probably for 20 years. We've been through thick and thin together, including we did a blues festival at Hunter Mountain during Hurricane Irene, I believe it was. And if we can get through that, we can get through anything. So I think it's important to know that the project of, what Mountain Jam is, it is a 3-day music festival. It is not as big as it was when we had it at Hunter Mountain. Hunter was a much bigger venue, and times were different back then. Music festivals got bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden there were too many of them, and music festivals started to wane in popularity. And this one, since we had 6 years to plan it, we decided to make it smaller, more manageable, quality over quantity. So we're expecting no more than 8,000 people maximum a day. That's the most amount. But the way ticket sales are going right now, we're probably in the 4,000 to 5,000 a day ballpark. We're still going for a mass gathering permit because just in case we get lucky and we can sell more tickets, we would like to. And it is also, Bel Air doesn't allow us to camp on their property. Their charter doesn't permit it, so we've rented land, Nella and Roy Dingus's land right next door, and we're proposing to put 600 campsites there. Again, with Alan's help, we've mapped everything out. Everything fits, it's spacious. 600 campsites, the most that could mean is if people showed up 4 to a campsite, which doesn't happen. But if they did, it would be 2,400 people. Most people show up as a couple. That would be 1,200 people. So somewhere between 1,200 people and 2,400 people would be, certainly to me will probably be under 2,000 people. We're only having one stage instead of at Hunter Mountain we had 3 and 4 stages. So it really is going to be very similar to the Nathaniel Rateliff concert that we did, which was 5,000 people. What we're here tonight is really to file our Chapter 59 public assembly permit. I have it here. Tell me, would you like it right now, or should I?
Well, Aaron emailed it to us.
Okay, great. There you go. I do have bigger maps for you, though, if you want to see bigger maps. So we're here for that. We're filing the 59 public assembly permit, which covers the campgrounds. Because we don't need to file that for...
That's all we cover.
Right. And then we're asking we have to file a State Environmental Quality Review Act, a SECRA form. So we're asking the town of Shandaken, the board, to be the lead agency on that. And also that everything in that permit really mirrors what we're filing for the mass gathering permit. So Ulster County Department of Health, we're filing for a mass gathering permit, very detailed reporting requirements. We've met with all the local authorities and all the agencies. We're filing all those reports, so we're asking that you confirm that you're not going to require separate approval from any of these agencies, because we're already going and getting approval with those agencies through the Ulster County Mass Gathering Permit. So it would be just duplicative. And the last is that we're asking you to authorize our law firm, Whiteman, Osterman, and Hanna, to circulate a lead agency notice to all the interested involved agencies. And with that in mind, I guess I will present Alan, who will go over details of the maps and the planning, and you can see everything that we've laid out.
Okay.
Where's our tripod? It's over there behind the flag. We have a tripod. Yeah, because she wants to get on camera, okay? Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you, Gary?
Thank you.
Can you get that on camera, a little closer? Yeah. You want us to come closer?
Thank you. You hear me okay? Yes. Okay. As Gary mentioned, our firm has done some basic engineering project. So I want some maps that Gary sent to you as well. Some of our maps that are listed, some of our maps that GGD production jumped in as Gary mentioned did. So what will happen is this goes over to the health department, budget to the development. The GGD production is more detailed their maps as far as some more, specific items going in some of the project areas. With that said, the goal of our work is to help the engineering pieces of the Part 7-4 Part 7-4 is part of the sanitary code. As the county will be issuing, we consult with them. We've met with them. This is a site with them. They'll be the agency permitting on that. Issue Part 7-4 permit. There's also a New York State sanitary code Part 18 permit. That is the medical EMS piece for public assemblies of 5,000 people. So that will be New York State Department. So on this project, it will be obviously the town, Chapter 59, the county health department doing Part 7-4, and the state health department doing Part 18. There will also be a little crossover with some of the project areas. RV camping for 50. Exactly for some sites in Fleischman's, and that will be coordinated with state health department as well. So that said, what I try to do is film some basic mapping. The first map that was impacted, I have sheets 1, 3, plus sheet 1. This basically shows everything from what you probably know as far as the main Discovery Lodge Bel-Air up to the Old Lodge Bel-Air. Route 28 goes on the south. The biggest properties are across the street from the Discovery Lodge parking lots. I'll go into this in more detail as I look at the maps, because it's easy to see maps when they very large scale shrunk it down a bit.
We need a new tripod, by the way. I'm gonna tell Barbara tomorrow. We never use this. See what happens?
Okay, sorry about that. So, the basic kind of go through a general large scale project is over the lodge, we have two parking areas over the lodge, town area, four parking lots, you have the access road parking, 3 lots down by Discovery Lodge, maintenance garage parking, and sometimes we'll go for parking because we sometimes we'll want one there. This still has ground truth and gone through Florida. It has not shared with them, but we still go through more details as far as general parking. On the camp piece, there are 4 parcels across the street, all belong to the Davis family. There is one area on this which I just noticed to make sure that corrected. The access to Camden, I'll show you, basically across Galley Church Road. Okay, so let's start with sheet 4, which is basically the event So the stage will be set up more or less on the Discovery Lodge. There's the main festival area, there's this miscellaneous area over here. These amount to 570,000 square feet.
There you go, okay.
Just switch my seat here real quick.
We have to get on the camera. You have to put it on the camera. They can watch it on YouTube tomorrow.
Okay, so again, where I was before, we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 570,000 square feet between the festival area and the miscellaneous area. State code as far as setting that requires 50 square foot for an attendee. We make sure we have more than 1.5 square footage per attendee. There's a series of calculations that we are part of the report, going into account our program that will address that. We park areas right near the festival and miscellaneous area. Tent camping, which is for the park area, for the camp area across the street. Again, car parking, 88 parking, which is us, also has additional parking over here. So far, we have about 2,600 and 40 for parking spots on site. Taking advantage of those areas that are out kind of going to some additional areas. We've done all our parking in accordance with the zoning code parking regulations 16-24, so all spots are 9 by 20, parallel spots are 9 by 25. We use 23 aisles for all the two traffic areas. We also follow 88A as far as site sufficient. Accessible parking including sufficient spaces for the once again, all those calculations will be going on to serious memorandums as to DOH, that's part of a large report. We're doing the engineering pieces, water, sewer, parking, and assessment. We're not doing that, we're not doing security. There's a whole other team consultants working with Gary and John Dennis on that. So that's generally what's happening at the festival site. If I switch to sheet 3 or 4. Moving up towards the overlook lodge. Once again, we're showing the 4 lots over by Tomahawk, the one Tomahawk access road, the 3 park lots next to the park chairlift. And there's also a flat one area over here where we're going to have overflow parking, one parking lot going into. We've already started to report about that. Over by Overlook Lodge, we've taken advantage of the whole Overlook parking, the access road parking, the older maintenance garage area parking, and what was the employee lot, which is now one of the lots for Overlook Lodge. On the map, it lists about how many spaces are each one. You'll see there's a few things on here for the ordinary, for instance, that we had to add new sewer bridge was not on the reason what we were doing is the sewer bridge. The old man's garage is still here, it's going down, there's cars parked there, so we added a few changes there. That's on the upper mountain parking. Then, so far we paid basically parking by Scouts, which is the 3 lots. The parking by Oak, which is 2 lots, parking by Hawk, which is 4 lots. The access road parking, and then we did include all sorts of parking over by the maintenance garage, the big pile of logs that appears on the image, which is now gone. We tried to work around where they do have some shipping containers, things like that, and we park there. So once again, we'll go back out there with or the staff and kind of going through to make sure that there's nothing that we missed as far as spots we should remember or things we should add. We also, in case it's needed, we'll show the throw area on the front lawn area. So I tried to increase, particularly does use to be sometimes gets busy. Spring skiing weekends where it does get used. That's sheets 1 over with 4 for. The last sheet is specifically here for camping. Basically, what we've done is we've created a series of polygons based on the camping areas that GG4D and Gary's office have decided they want to use for camping. We calculated all those areas for instance the state sanitary code as well. The way the code reads, they get 50 square foot per camping. We're assuming max space, 4 people per site. Each site has about 225 square feet, 15 by 15. Some sites may have more, some sites may have less. But it's a max of 4, it's a max of 600 sites. We've got about double the amount of area we need. So by the time we start looking at things such as aisles, I'll show you, and that space comes out. And then, so the camping is in the woods. So the camping is in the woods, once it's like camping Catskills, it's very much way for everybody, but you're not gonna camp on the back, you're gonna camp on the plateau, so we're showing more than enough square footage, we need 120,000 square feet, we're showing about 250,000 square feet. So they're basically by attrition as one goes, as they mark out sites in the woods, let's say sites will get around a little bit.
One question.
Sure.
When you're talking about the possibility of 4 people in a tent, you're talking a family with kids?
Well, he's saying per campsite, not necessarily per tent. You could put multiple tents on a campsite. Yeah.
Oh, so the campsite is 250 square feet, and it may have more than one tent on it?
Yeah, but most people, if they come in, they, like, if they came as a, you can get a big tent that sleeps 3 or 4 people. You know,
Okay.
good, if you can fit it up to 15 like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, very few people come.
Right. So when you're saying 600 campsites with the possibility of 4 in each, that could be 2 tents on that site.
I want to say, I think you can be, but I have judges, I'd say, 110 per site, and I remember some people complain. So I don't know 100% if I can answer that right now. When you could put 2 tents on one campsite.
Okay.
I could actually go with you.
I think they'd be more concerned about the number of people.
Well, that's...
If 4 people came and 4 tiny little one-person
You
pop
said they're
tents,
15 by 15?
Yeah.
Each site is 15 by 15? That's gonna be real tight with 2 tents.
Yeah, we could do 2.
Yeah, we don't really want to put 2 on this side.
Right. I get that.
But we do have.
The bigger tents for families.
Gym, we do encourage families and bring children.
Do you see much in the way of that, where a couple with their kids come, 1 or 2 kids? Okay. Go on.
We have designated areas, quiet camping, family camping.
Okay.
The next maps are maps that are from GG4D Productions, which will show you a little more detail. This one similarly is an overall map of the West Coast Discovery Lodge area, the parking areas, the camping area over here. The existing drainages and streams, like this is Crystal Brook, for instance, are shown on the map. It shows the stage area. It does designate once again the tent camping, the VIP parking, and the ADA parking. It doesn't show the spots like the other map does, as that's piece more taken care of. It does show the general tent layout on the site. And once again, it's about twice the area needed, but I think that number makes sense, providing the work, just because, as I mentioned before, you're going to be moving things around a little bit. Rails, et cetera, you also want to have, the lawn's going to be the main areas, you want to have sufficient allow space to get in between campsites and going on top of each other, and for access and egress. This is their map of the general festival area. Once again, here's the Discovery Lodge, here's the stage, VIP areas, the existing facilities, medical building, some of the water stations shown, food trucks, porta johns, merchandise, tents, things like that. The water distribution, exact placement numbers, spigots, water balance, portage adjustments, still in development. They will have to meet the code minimum in part 7. So we started doing calculations on that, we're getting together with them. Their festival organizers and subcontractors are continuing to make guys listen, you'll finalize those numbers. Once we have, we meet, we're going to see the code on things like garbage, water, sewer, occupancy. The next sheet basically shows all the camping area, where it shows the red here is the make lawn camping. This is wedding camping between Madison Road and the lawn area. So lawn camping back here, and then some more wedding camping over here. Access is basically across Valley Church Road here. There had been a second access point that was floated, but that's been taken off from that.
Yeah, so which blob here towards the south of these red campsites represents the burn pile? Or is it represented on the map at all next to the pool?
The burn pile is kind of down in here, which is, it would show up better on the orthographic map, if I show that to you. And that's something that
So for those of you who don't know or are unfamiliar with the property, typically annually there is a big bonfire there. I don't know, and that was my next question, what is the plan with the burn pile? Will it be gone? Will it be there? Because I do think that raises some safety concerns.
So we've been notified that we're not allowing this to go.
Okay.
I originally was gonna get fenced in, but the current plan now is to haul it away.
Then the homeowners agreed, or?
We thought it'd be very good by that time.
Yeah.
We are trying to say that we're gonna haul it away from them, and we're gonna set it back up to the end of the festival.
Teacher service, Mr. Van Borgen's question, right here, just about the lower pages where the burn pile is.
Okay. So the plan as of now is that that burn pile will no longer be there?
Correct.
Okay.
And then that's also keep us discussing the help.
Yeah, no.
Okay, further going through these, preliminary water station areas are shown. We will be doing a water distribution system on site to meet the code. There's a certain number of water vents, a certain number of spaces that have to be available for the guests, both on the event site and the empty campground. As far as code is concerned, they're basically going to catch the gray water and all that site onto a soak pits. There's really not anything permanently built on these sites as far as grading, drainage, what have you. It's really temporary infrastructure goes in, temporary infrastructure goes out. Lighting will be a part of this. That's been done 1, 2, 3, 4, 4D. They're in the process of working with a subcontractor on lighting to do that. This sheet right here. Just basically shows the access going to West Valley Church Road. The various buildings will be fenced off. There will be security right on site. On the next sheet, it shows all over the stage. Kind of put it in perspective, Discovery Lodge, and then the gondola base. Another blow-up of the stage, kind of going, Discovery Lodge is back here, this is the main part of the stage right there. And then, this sheet, this is the sheet for out of county, this is the village of Fleischmann ball field. And like Gary speaks this, but they're working with the village of Fleischmann as far as using that property. Those people who are parking on that property will show that back and forth. So we take that into account as far as our parking calculations as well. Those will be offsite. We discuss that with our parking as well. These units will be self-contained. Having their water spigots per code, but they will have their own typical water tank and oval tank. And they're very along the fire station board is they will, if people want to continue to provide service for dropouts. Make sure I cover everything. That's pretty much most of what I had to cover.
Go back to that access to the campus site.
Sure.
I might have missed what you said, but you said something about taking access point out.
There had been two. This day, it's down to one.
That's not
Because the other one just, the other one didn't exist.
that's not the actual driveway to the.
No, it's actually, I'll flip back to it.
It's off of Gunnison Road.
I'm going to look at iterations. I think the iteration that went from planning report showed it too. So that here it is now. So one sheet. It's right here. So imagine you're looking like kind of towards the lower part of the lawn with what's on your right side. You're scanning back to the Discovery Lodge, looking over at the Davis' lawn, and that's where the access point is going to be. There will be access back here for emergency access, and it will also allow this access for pump outs and things like that, to the water zone. Bring away water, the new trucks, things like that. But as far as pedestrian access, there will basically one control at this point. We didn't think it was really a good idea to have people walking out on that Gunnison Road. But yeah, control access, we've been there a couple times, but like we go back over the woods. People park on one side and walk across the street on the other side, so otherwise it's like a school crossing. That's why we're like into like, there applies to be water plans on that. I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about the rest of the area here, or I think I covered those most in detail. And I do have these, part thousands of these right now.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to add? Does anybody have a question they'd like to throw in? Andrew?
Andrew, can you use the microphone? I'm sorry. Let me move that.
Can you give us a summary of what permits and associated things the project need from the town?
From the town, there's one permit. Basically, Assembly's Public, Chapter 59, offers a permit. And they just went through a lot of the required documents that they need. And all of that is making sure the county is okay with it, making sure our police and our EMS are okay with it. We are working with our attorney to figure out, because it's something we haven't done before, and the permit fee is only $25. So what we're working out, our police chief and our ambulance chief are trying to put together figures for what we need to have that covered for the weekend. We're putting together what we need for legal and the like to make sure that the town is covered and whole. We'll probably set up an escrow account. Yes, of course.
Just like to remind everybody that there are 8,000 people today attending this. That will increase the population of town Shandaken on a daily basis by more than triple. That means cars on the road, emergency services, everything that we need to do. We should have some assurances that our normal services will not be affected by this event. And I don't know how we do that.
I just want to put out there that we come close to that number at Bel Air regularly throughout ski season. 5,000 to 7,000 people a day is typical for
On a very busy day. That's not a.
not every day, a busy weekend, a holiday weekend, we get near those numbers, and 8,000 is his maximum, not his expected.
Will alcohol be served on our property? It's a little bit different, people coming to go and ski and go up and down a mountain. be staying at the property for 3 days in a row.
Should be less traffic coming and going then, yes?
What about noise? What about the wildlife that's up on the mountain? I just want to remind you that in one incident, when Orta brought in a helicopter to move some heavy equipment from the lower area to the upper area, to put up new lift material, every single animal on the mountain ran down into Pine Hill for cover. And that was just one 3-hour incident. What's going to happen now? What kind of protections are people in Pine Hill going to get from this potential invasion? And what protections are the animals going to get? What protections are going to be for the streams that come down and end up in Pine Hill? And the Pine Hill water, which is downslope from this entire event. What's going to stop people from wandering down there, camping in places they shouldn't be camping? Where will the electricity come from?
A lot of it will come from generators, but you know, already use electricity.
Which adds to the pollution and potentially the noise unless they're using hospital-wide generators. Where will that pollution go? How will it affect the neighbors? How will it affect the noise? Where will the fuel come from? Are there potential for fuel spills? Will the generators be running 24 hours a day for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days in order to power the entire thing? I think there are a lot of elements to this that need to be investigated very, very carefully. I thank you.
Thank you.
The biggest generators are just brought in for the stage power, so they're only operating from, you know, noon to 11 p.m.
For
And
the
they're
mu-
quiet. They're
for the
totally quiet.
music.
Because they sit right next to the stage, so they have
Right.
to be quiet.
Right.
And it's propane.
Joe, did you have your hand raised? Yeah. No, okay.
Is there a reason why you're seeking, that you want the town to sponsor the seeker as opposed to like the county? Because I know the state can't, because Acorn is the state, but I'm just curious. It's another way of asking some of the questions Andrew is asking.
Also to address your concern about, I want you to understand how thorough we have to do for a mass gathering permit. I'm just going to read to you what we have to do. Parking plan, a transportation traffic control plan, site maps, event site occupancy plan, plan for limiting attendance, construction and installation of services and facility plan, food service plan, facility roadway signage plan, statement from the local fire authority, emergency response evacuation plan, statement from the local civil defense director, proof of procurement of a command post for use by the New York State Department of Health and local authorities, a mosquito bite fly control plan, noxious weed control plan, security plan, zoning plans, toilet and hand washing plans, water supply plan, refuse collection and storage plan, emergency first aid medical plan, amplified sound plan, event site lighting illumination plan, residential buffer plan, proof of insurance, bond information, proof of financial resources, explanation of marketing, which is actually great in terms of economic benefits to the town. Complete entertainment schedule, communications plan, power electricity plan, fireworks plan, public relations plan, staffing plan, food service and non-food vending plan. The road water system is already looked at to make sure there's no pollution. So everything really is very well for that. We cut off ticket sales at a certain point. Well,
If they don't have a ticket,
Yeah,
yes.
people buy tickets in it.
Where are those cars gonna go? What's gonna happen to those people?
People don't just show up and without a ticket, like, that doesn't happen. If an event is sold out, well, it really doesn't unless it's like Woodstock 69, which is like once in 50 years. Most people don't drive, I mean, I haven't heard of anybody, you don't drive to Yankee Stadium, don't get into it, you know, you just know when you can't get in, you can't get in. But I can assure you, we're not at that level this year. There's not gonna be 8,000 people a day. I wish I could tell you there was, but, you know, things are expensive, money is tight, and there's a lot of competition, and there's 3 other festivals like 2 weeks before us, and everyone's fighting out for survival, so it's not, I can assure you there's not gonna be 8,000 people a day.
So what's a more realistic number?
5.
Okay.
How many tickets have you sold so far?
We've sold about 2,300 tickets. 12 of them, 1,200 are coming for the weekend, and then the other is split up between 3 days, so 400. So we've got about 1,600 a day, and we've been on sale for like 3 months.
Just to clarify something, all those plans that you just enumerated there, those are all for the county and for the county's approval, correct? And that the sole thing that comes past the town is ultimately the permitting for the camping.
Correct.
Right? So a lot of those plans, of course, you're doing your due diligence and you're gonna provide all those, but those won't necessarily be provided for our evaluation. Hopefully we'll know about them, but we're not the evaluators of those. That will ultimately be the county that's evaluating that. It's ultimately the county that's evaluating the event itself. Our role is solely gonna be related
To
to
parking.
the Dignity parcel.
I mean, the camping, yeah.
Right. I just want that to be clear as to.
Is the secret or just the camping?
The camping, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to make that distinction that the event itself is not coming past the town board for a thumbs up, thumbs down. Our approval is related to the campsites. Do I have that fully correct?
Correct. And we have been there. Chad is there, Rich Muller, Lily, our chief, and I've been to meetings.
Has there been any action from the county?
I think everyone's been very supportive of us. You know, we have a great track record. 14 years in Hunter is twice the size.
Why are you leaving Hunter?
Well, Hunter changed hands and became, you know, the Slutskys. When they sold it, everything changed. And they're just, at first they really just didn't want, they didn't want to do anything in the summertime. They just wanted to, their whole business is selling season passes to all their ski mountains.
Everybody knows Shandaken is better than Hunter. Why would you go to Hunter?
But they do, I would say, that was when we left, when they sold it, and now they actually want us back. And Bel Air made a really strong effort to keep us from going back.
All right.
This is a application, so this is not application, there's gonna be a public hearing, there's gonna be all office information given out.
Exactly.
So we're gonna have a public hearing.
Yep. Yep.
So what we're really asking is not only to consider our application, but declaring yourselves as lead agency and confirming you're not going to require separate approval from those agencies that we're already working for through the Department of Ulster County DOH, and authorizing our law firm to circulate the notice. I guess we have to send a notice letting
Our
everyone know.
law requires approvals from those other agencies.
Right.
We even need, I mean, other than the county health department, we need approval from our planning board, and they just have to look through it, and it's not an arduous thing. I mean, county's already doing it, county EMS is doing it. we're just making sure we're all on the same page. Thank you. You guys don't have to stay for the rest of the meeting. All right, other committee reports. Yeah, let's go into that. Kyle for ambulance.
Town of Shandaken, ambulance, February 2025 report. Total calls received 33, mutual aid given 1, town of Olive, mutual aid received 1, Margaret ambulance. Total transports 27, total non-transport 6. If your home is anything like mine, no matter what you do during the winter, it still seems impossible to keep dust, dirt, mud, sand, thanks Eric, and whatever else makes its way into the house out. March arrives and it is finally time to crack open the windows and get moving on spring cleaning to feel somewhat human again. As refreshing as it may be, sometimes people inadvertently find themselves in peril due to a few things easily overlooked. Cleaning products make our job easier, but when mixed, some become toxic. Bleach and ammonia are particularly deadly. Go a mile and read the label for pertinent warnings. Ventilation is a very good thing when utilizing cleaners, so think about using a window, turning on a fan, or both. Remember those masks still have laying around? Use them when cleaning. Gloves are a good idea when using polishes or wax. Store cleaning products in a cool, dry space, inaccessible to pets and children. Remember that if you clean or seal something with a flammable material, it's possible that rag, varnish, or linseed oil can spontaneously combust. If you think that sounds crazy, it happens way more than you ever imagined. Stay safe out there. Richard Moore, UTP, Department of Engineering.
Thanks, Kyle. Building zoning?
Let's see, for the month of February, our building department issued seven building permits, 7 certificates of compliance, 4 floodplain permits, and 2 demolition permits. I'm allergic to permits. Fire and safety inspections, let's see, there were 4 visits and 4 inspections.
Thank you, Ally. Police?
141 calls for service and no arrests.
Short enough. Perfect.
Phoenicia Water. So the committee met on February 4th with Board Member Drake in attendance. We recommended a specific candidate for hire for the position of Deputy Superintendent for the Water District. And I spoke with Teddy Byron trying to find out on, at one of the comprehensive master plan meetings, there was, Craig said that there were some hydrants that were broken. And I have learned that from Teddy that the one at the very end of Phoenicia on 214 is kaput, and the last one on Plank Road also very broken. And he also mentioned that there's not enough water pressure for from hydrant on Ave Maria to put out a substantial fire in that complex. So that's something to look out. In the immediate, those 2 hydrants, and then the wet water pressure issue is pretty pressing. Let's see. Our understanding is that the keypads were ordered and that the codes would be on file at the supervisor's office. I'm not sure where we are with that, but that's what we talked about. Committee's hoping the superintendent and deputy superintendent will complete a standard operating procedure, an emergency response plan, and a vulnerability assessment as soon as they are able. Committee also recommends the superintendent and deputy superintendent research and then determine what facilities in Phoenicia are required to have testable backflow devices. In order to pay for the desperately needed third pump for the Phoenicia Water District that Rick has been talking about for years, It is our understanding that a significant grant will be needed and that cost will exceed $200,000, which is the limit of the National Rural Water Loan Fund. It's our understanding that the county will finish the loop when they do bridge work, tentatively slated for 2026. We recommend water tower inspection at some point. And the committee's next meeting is March 4th. If you want to ask the committee anything, do it through me or Carrie.
Where's it gonna be?
Sorry. Phoenicia Library.
March
Do
4th,
you
what
want
time?
to,
10 a.m.
while you're up there, do you want to do a parks report also?
Sure. You want to skip that?
I don't wanna make it work too hard.
Thank you. All right, so the Parks and Recreation Committee. Our understanding is that the 2025 budget line of $30,000, $20,000 of that is allocated for a match for crest funding, $5,000 is for the summer recreation program, and $5,000 for various parks projects. The committee has $2,899 in a designated fund in Ulster savings. There's $9,874 in the turkey trot funds for parks, and about $2,000, I don't really have an update on this, for the dog park fund. Autumn submitted a bill for $5,000 to the supervisor's office, and that's for the playground design company, KAN, and we're hoping that comes from turkey trot funds. Trash, the committee's brought up the need for trash receptacles in the parks. Board member Von Blarkum explained that to the committee that the town is not staffed for trash removal. The committee will work better to have better carry-in, carry-out signage in the meantime. The committee is seeking a donation of a concrete culvert pipe for Glenbrook Playground. If anybody knows of such, please contact us at shandakenparksproject@gmail.com.
Size?
I think she said 3 foot. But yeah, we have, if you contact us and you have any size, it's for toddlers, so it doesn't, it's really not.
Yeah, and we did make some headway on that front and get in contact with a precast, prefab concrete company.
That's great to hear. The Glenbrook Park has 21 seating options and 2 tables for naming opportunities. Again, please email shandakenparksproject@gmail.com if you're interested. The committee is seeking a designated volunteer for Glenbrook Dog Park. Please email shandakenparksproject@gmail.com if you're interested. The committee recommended a metal roof for the pavilion. Pommel has submitted a revised quote at an estimated total for the whole pavilion project of about $124,000. This is within the DEC Smart Growth Grant and the match. So we're hoping the board will meet soon, again, regarding a resolution to amend the original quote, perhaps this month. We'd really like that. DASNY has requested a seeker environmental review. Type 2, Peter said, that can be completed by the board. Our hope is that you'll also have a special meeting this month for that. Love Your Park Day is Saturday, May 3rd, with a rain date of Sunday, May 4th. We request volunteers for our first annual event at Parish Field at 10 a.m. on the 3rd. We're going to do some park cleanup, and it will make it fun, promise. The Phoenicia Farm Market opens May 18th and runs through October 26th in Parish Field. The Phoenicia Festival of the Arts is Thursday, August 28th through September 1st in Parish Field. The committee has an ambitious goal of having 9 mini golf modules in the park by then.
Which park?
Parish. And I know that we have to work with the parish itself on that, and we are. Also for storage of the 9 modules. We've also talked to Teddy Byron about siting them
Okay,
safely.
he called me and I was wondering where that came from. Great.
Kerry reported that he's working on a shovel-ready plan for the skate park. Kevin is going to check to see if the footprint for the existing blacktop is okay to be the footprint for the skate park. Kerry needs a survey before he has a plan, and he's already gotten secured Don Brewer from funds he's already raised to do that, and Don Brewer is doing it at a very good rate. And so that's what's happening there.
A survey of what?
Smith Park.
Smith Park. Yeah, we didn't have surveys of any of our parks, and now we will have one for Smith and one for Glenbrook. Woo-hoo. All right, Autumn brought up the need for the flag to be raised in Big Indian. It's still lowered in memory of Jimmy Carter. We loved him, but we'd like to raise the flag. It's up. Yeah, excellent. Our next meeting is March 24th at 5 o'clock in Town Hall and via Zoom.
Very
Any other
good.
questions? All right.
Thank you. Kyle, Pine Hill Water? Oh,
Screwed up something. So my attorney is saying, I told you I should have been there, is saying that due to time constraints, we need you guys to vote to be the lead agency because we have to give the agencies, all the other agencies, 30 days notice. That'll bring us into April, and we're under significant time pressure. So he was like, I can get him on the phone. He's like, I'll stand by and explain to them.
no, that's fine. We are going to be lead agency. Do anybody have an issue with being lead
No, I
agency?
mean, we still have to have a public hearing before the seeker, right?
Right, we're still gonna have a public hearing, and we're still gonna have a seeker. And we'll do a public hearing next month, so,
We can do a motion on that tonight, though, being lead agency, yeah?
yeah,
And you'll have to do a motion to call for a public hearing next month.
yes, I have that in line. Yes, and we'll do a motion to be lead agency.
Okay,
Okay.
wonderful, thank you.
I'll send that to you tomorrow, and you can forward it to them.
Museum?
We just want to clarify that secret is for the whole event, not just for camping.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do seeker for the whole event.
All right, let me get him on the phone.
Well, we have a regular meeting to go through, so why don't you go have that phone call outside and we'll keep going here.
You don't want him to talk to you?
You were gonna put him on speakerphone here on the microphone?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could do a much better job also. Okay, TJ, you are in front of the town board. You're on microphone, and so they have agreed to be the lead
Yeah,
agent. They're going to vote on that, and they've agreed, but they're questioning about secret involving the entire festival, not just camping. So can you explain that?
You can't hear him. Turn your volume up.
It's out,
Hold on one second, everybody. Come on, speaker.
it's on the top, I think, the speaker.
So I think one question, if you prefer for him, is what is your deadline? And the reason we say that is that we have some sense that we may need to do another March meeting for other activities. And so I think what might be more comfortable here is if we revisit this at another meeting in perhaps a week or so, and I'll give us
You want to do a special, you want to do a special meeting?
We're already planning that, and we need to schedule one
Yeah.
other business.
Okay, they can't really hear you, but they're saying that they will talk to you offline, and then they're gonna do a special meeting next week, I think, anyway. Okay? All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's why I have throwables in the bed. Some of them nice and sharp.
Okay, let's talk about the special meeting. Do we, well, let's go through the committee.
Finish
Yeah,
together.
yeah. Let's get through the committee. All right, no, Pine Hill Water, did you want to? Oh, we'll do museum and then water.
Hi, this is the monthly report for the Shandaken Historical Museum for February. On February 2nd, the museum hosted a demonstration of rug hooking by Andrea Singer, our chairperson, and it was attended by half a dozen fabric enthusiasts. It's a traditional craft. that often entails work circle, collaboration between friends. The presentation was very rewarding and empowering for all those who attended. The museum has been asked by the consultant group Patterns in Progress to write and submit a one-page history of the town of Shandaken for the comprehensive plan for the town of Shandaken. The museum is currently looking for volunteers. Please contact us if you know anybody who wants to work with the museum. This last Saturday, March 1st, the museum hosted a multimedia presentation by Jay Simpson about the early days of skiing in Phoenicia. The presentation was very well received with over 35 avid ski fans attending. We are currently planning for a Native American drumming event led by noted author Evan Pritchard for Friday, March 21st. In February, the museum had over 35 visitors, both locals and tourists. Many left generous contributions and grateful messages. Respectfully submitted, Joseph Reboy, Director of the Museum of Town of Shandaken Historical Museum. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Pine Hill Water, anything we haven't covered? Okay. Anybody from Housing Smart? Beth from CAC.
Beth Waterman, Conservation Advisory Council. We're working on two things at the moment. One is a series of public meetings related to emergency preparedness. The first one will be on June 10th, and it is related to flood mitigation. And then we hope to have two other meetings later in the summer and fall. One on what householders can do to prepare for fire or to prevent fire, and the other one on individual preparedness, planning, go bags, that kind of thing. The other thing we're working on is the Community Climate Action Plan. Our next meeting is May 17th here at 6:30. Thanks.
Thank you, Beth. Nobody here from Comprehensive Plan. So public comments on resolutions coming up.
They're not a committee.
No, there's not almost.
Got a report, Eric?
Best report of the night.
Yes.
You were close second.
Comments on resolutions? Okay, motions. I'm going to make a motion that we take lead agency for Chapter 59, the permit for camping.
I thought we were just going to delay that until the next special meeting.
Because we don't know if it's just for camping, right?
Right. I think we need some
Well,
clarity.
I'm just doing just camping, and if we have to go into, unless you want to wait for the whole thing.
Well, I just don't see the point because they're asking us to do a secret for the whole.
You know, I'm gonna think that's gonna be weird.
I think we're best.
Let's wait, get clarification and do it at our special meeting.
Yeah, well, okay, we'll talk to Ben, our attorney. Hold off on that. Well, let's do the public hearing, make a motion for a public hearing for Mountain Jam. And do we want to do that on the special meeting mid-month?
All of them, I think at the next.
At the next town board regular meeting,
Yeah, we should do
right?
10 days.
So, April 7th at 6:30.
Well, we did just tell him.
So it's
we would give
open
him
to the
an
whole
answer in a
public?
week or two?
Yeah, we'll have to have that.
Just asked us
Yeah.
the day he needs it, so he can wait. It's my personal opinion. That you need to request access to.
And I did reach out to Health Department, and they didn't seem, she said that they didn't do seekers for these kind of events. I haven't reached out to Dennis Doyle yet, but I'll find out from planning if they do. And I'll talk to Ben. Make a motion for a special meeting. Oh, yeah, second, all in favor? Aye, yes, thanks for catching that.
Special meeting.
Motion for,
We already did that, so the next one is special meeting, what day?
what's what we're looking at?
Have to be March.
Mid-March?
Do it at night? Like early, so you guys can be here at 6, right? They're thinking of it.
Thursdays remain my best night of the week.
Thursday the 13th?
Thursday the 13th at 6, all right?
I can do it when I'm eating.
Is that good for you?
Yeah, I may be driving, but I can zoom in. So I might travel.
Thursday the 13th at 6.
I mean,
Are you
I
okay,
can
Paul?
do other nights if we lose 2 board members doing it on a
Right.
Thursday.
Just thinking.
Well, yeah.
6:30 is
I'll
better?
know more
Okay.
next week.
I will be remote. I know I won't be remote.
Ellie's got to
The
be here,
14th
somebody's got to be here
better?
with the computer.
Okay, oh, you're gone, right.
I can be here the 13th, and I can Zoom multiple people if need be.
You're
Okay,
very
good.
talented.
It's a skill.
So, 6:30, the videographer's asked for, is that okay?
6:30 on
Thursday, the 13th, March
Thursday the
13th?
13th. Second?
Second?
All in favor? On the agenda for that meeting, we will be talking about a CREST grant, our EV charger grant, amend the park grant that we got to include the metal roof, and the Mountain Jam stuff, just seeker stuff. Yes. Maybe.
So the CREST grant is for the EV chargers?
No,
Oh,
there's two
something else.
different,
Just
there's
that
two
grant money.
different park grants.
Oh, that's right.
The CREST grant needs a seeker done and a resolution if you're gonna do a seeker. Do I have a second?
To hire the engineer to do the appraisal, inspection, it's gonna be less than 5,000.
Okay, good. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be less than 5,000.
5, okay.
3 to 5
For Anthony?
for Anthony. He's gonna write us up options. It's probably gonna be a $3,000.
Do we wanna wait for LaBella to give an offer? He just contacted me today and said he connected with somebody and will get back to us in a couple of days with a number.
I suppose we could.
We could decide that at that meeting.
Yeah, like Micavello can do it as soon as Friday, but I don't know that we're in that big of a rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to talk about revising fee schedules for next month? Set a public hearing for that? The one that Grace sent us, or do we want to wait another month after that?
I think we should get that done, if we can. Anybody else?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sooner rather than later.
Well, then, April 7th.
So that would be to review the planning and zoning fee schedules for?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
Review
what
and
that means.
update the planning and zoning fee schedules.
Okay.
Second, so this would be a motion to do another public hearing.
Another
April 7th at 6 p.m. for this.
Well, 6:30 is the earliest, so we'll just make it 6:45.
Yeah, maybe we should do it 6:15.
Can you guys do 6:15? About the fee schedule?
Oh, that's right, yeah, right, okay. So if we go over, we'll go over.
Yeah, we
Let's
can
do
start our
six-
meeting a little later. Fee
One's at
schedule shouldn't
6:30,
take that
one's at
long.
6:45.
All right, 6:45. Planning and zoning. fee schedule.
Do I get a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Okay. We need a motion for anything else?
Motion to open, to seek volunteers for a new Pine Hill water park.
Very good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Move on to resolutions.
Resolution 4625, resolution to pay all bills and move its adoption.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 47-25, Aldovria Cemetery being relinquished to the town and setting up a special meeting for lot owners on April,
We're gonna, we didn't decide.
You want to do it April 7th, the
Yeah.
same day, but do it in the afternoon at
Yeah,
1?
if Mr. Breen from the cemetery board wants to come down, he'd like it during the day.
Right.
April 7th at
So
1 p.m.
April 7th, at what time, 1 p.m.?
1 p.m.?
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay. And move its adoption?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 4825, appointing a deputy water superintendent, and that is going to be Jameson Joyce. And I move its adoption. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 49-25, resolution hiring a water process from mesh using water meters in Pine Hill Water District. And move its adoption.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Open public comment.
I appreciate the amount of people came here and dropped off this volume of work that they have. Just to keep you guys keep it in mind that when you submit your permit fee to them, that also included in that can be professional services that you guys would use to look at these documents, to review them. I mean, I know Alan, he's very knowledgeable, but it's always good to have a double check on parking space, all that stuff. It's just technical, and I think, keep that in mind.
Thank you. And that's another thing we'll be talking about during our special meeting in the middle of the month, our fees, and hopefully Chad and Rich will have some numbers put together for us in that regard. And try and figure out what size of an escrow account to have. I'll get an idea from Ben what legal fees will cost us, and having some engineer look at the drawings. Anyone else?
Well, real quick, I just want to say, thanks for putting that calendar up there that you can subscribe to, because boy, is that helpful.
I know. I learned how to do it from my phone, too. It's a lot better.
I had two things. First, just to reiterate on Phoenicia Elementary, that I did have a good conversation with Cavello about doing the inspection, but apparently we have a second one coming in, so that's actually good. But also, over the weekend, I had a conversation with members of the Onteora School Board, and Victoria, the superintendent of the schools, and they were all surprised that we weren't discussing the lease option they offered, and to which I informed them that was the first I'd heard of it. So Victoria sent me the lease agreement that she had sent to you. It's basically modeled after what Rosendale did with their school, where the school building was leased by the district to the town for, I believe, a fee of $1 a month for a period of 7 years, at the end of which the school was sold to the town for $1, and in the interim, a monthly maintenance fee was charged that covered And there were several options involved, but it covered everything in the way of taking care of the building, with the town having the option of taking over some of it and doing themselves to reduce the fee. And apparently this would not, and did not for them, make it fall under the restrictive school load Rule 405 that limited the use of the building. They were very curious why we weren't discussing that option.
She said that.
They say they sent you this lease. That's why they approached me, to find out why we weren't talking about it.
I would have to look back in my records. I do not recall this, but
Because
it sounds like a great.
it sounds like a great option, and I think we should send it to our lawyer to read this and see if we can make it work for our town.
Absolutely.
If you don't have a copy of it, I can send you this copy.
Please do.
I shall indeed. I will send it to everyone. It came in late this afternoon. I ran into, this is why Bel Air's better than Hunter. I ran into members of our school board while skiing afterwards in the bar, full disclosure, at Overlook Lodge. Our kids played in the snow and we had cocktails and talked about the school because that's what they really wanted to know when they saw me. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I immediately asked, can you get me a copy of this lease? And late this afternoon, Victoria emailed it to me.
All right, great.
Ellie, if we lease it, do they pay repairs and stuff in that time, like the roof?
I haven't had full time to read the whole thing, but my understanding of, and this is the Rosendale lease, we obviously would have to renegotiate a whole thing because that was for part of the building. The school district still used some of it. And then eventually it changed. I believe now multiple towns share ownership or lease it. I don't know. 2 towns own it. Yeah, in the end, I believe actually they bought it for $105,000. Yes, all maintenance and operation costs were paid by the school district for those 7 years, and the town paid the school district a fee. I won't find it now. It was a few $1,000s a month.
Quick question, because you know more than I do about this. Does the school have like a preschool program that they would put in there, or is there anything that Ontario would do? They don't do that?
I don't think so. I think that part of
'Cause the school-
giving it to the town would open that option
That
up.
we could rent it to people that have a preschool?
Well, there'd be a lot of problems because I actually did look into that sort of option as possible tenants because that would qualify as public use. And I spoke to a couple of women who started a pre-K program in this town. And the number of legal requirements, safety requirements, security, separation, separate access, while it is possible to move a pre-K into part of that building, if it were to be a shared space, I don't know if any of you have been around to where Woodland Playhouse is and gone around to the back, but there's high fenced-in areas. We would actually have to section off the school and fence in the playground.
Have to be high security.
Exactly, because until they reach, maybe first grade of age, they always have to be, penned in apparently
Well, they
like
have that
chattel.
weird little building on the left. That's all by itself. That could be penned in.
But the playground's at the other end and it's not really big enough, yeah.
Would this option preclude us from having to go to referendum?
I don't know.
Probably, we're just renting.
It sounds like it would.
Sounds like we wouldn't
I
have to
mean,
worry
in
about
this agreement is the final sale price as well, so they still might have to do it in referendum. I would think they would, but I don't really know. That's why we're gonna forward this on to Ben or Paul or
Yeah.
both. Yeah,
About the new school, has the town had access to, or are you aware of a condition study, or a condition survey of the new?
this is something we were just talking about. We do have one report that was done by the school district, an appraisal that we do have a copy of. Several of us have toured the building. We have the 5-year facility plan, and the engineer and appraisals we were just talking about hiring for, that would be us hiring our own inspectors for the building to go ahead and give it a review. All these are why we haven't jumped at any decisions yet.
Great.
That's all I got. It was a great ski day.
Great ski day. Okay, that's exciting. Anything else before I adjourn? Make a motion for adjournment in the memory of James Short. Need a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Any tax?
I suppose it's